Finally. Finally. Hey y'all, Zach here. In today's video, I'm going to tell you why I wish I started squatting sooner and why I believe you should start squatting as soon as possible, right? Okay, before we start today's video, I would like to quickly shout out my workout program, right? Program I designed myself to help me get to a 405 bench, a 635 deadlift, and a soon-to-be 500-pound squat with just, a month and a half training, right? But quick disclaimer, right? If you just have slightly above average genetics, I would 100%, stay away from this workout program if you don't want to be called a fake natural, right? Even if you're not using performance enhancing drugs, this workout program will probably make you labeled a fake natty, right? I'll have the evidence right here and right here and right here. But I'll just use those because this could be a whole clip by itself. But again, it's only $5, less than a Big Mac, but more fulfilling. All right, back into the video. Getting straight into it. The biggest regret I have for not squatting was pretty much when I started becoming a full-fledged powerlifter, right? I started doing my bench pressing and then later into my deadlifts. I would have people pretty much, ask me in person and sometimes even comment like, damn, dude, you're strong as hell. But I never see you post your squat, dude. What's your squat? And I'm like, dude, I don't even know what my squat is, right? I assumed it was pretty decent, right? For me having a deadlift, right? Because I was like, okay, they're both, they work their the lower extremities of my body. Deadlift obviously being a total body muscle recruiter, but hamstrings, the whole posterior chain, right? So it should translate pretty well to my squat. In theory, it did, but not as much as I thought it would, right? So I would assume that I was just at a 405 squat, and boy, was I wrong, right? I remember the first time I loaded 405 on my back and I almost died, right? Here's a video of me doing that right here. You guys probably wondering, man, you're strong at deadlifts, you're strong at bench, but I never see you squat. Right, so biggest regret was just thinking I was a lot stronger than I thought I was, and really not even, just pretty much assuming too much. And another regret is the lack of leg gains I've had. Like ever since I started squatting, my quads have started getting bigger, right? They've become a lot more pronounced. Mind you, they are a lot more sore more than usual, but it's a decent trade-off. And it's not insanely sore, it's just like the DOMs kind of sore, right? Like here's a video of me before I started squatting, right? My quads before squats. Here's a video of me doing that right here. Right, and then here's a recently updated video of this morning of me doing squats. Right, my quads have been like insanely, like they've already, like within 2 months of me squatting already, I have a noticeable difference, and I can't wait to see what happens after a year. Right, so the second regret is just me missing out on all the gains, right? Because again, squat is amazing for like recomposition, pretty much total body recomposition. Because again, if you don't know, squats are one of the most anabolic exercises you can do, right? It helps release testosterone and your growth hormone because you're pretty much engaging one of the biggest muscles in your body, your legs, your quads, and your whole posterior chain. Right, so obviously it's going to help with total body recomposition. It's going to help me, lose fat while simultaneously adding muscle. And it's pretty much, I want to give a lot of credit to my squat, even though I have upped my cardio a little bit. But I do want to pretty much thank my squat, me adding my squat for me cutting some weight, right, and while maintaining a huge chunk of my strength. I've been getting a little slimmer. And my muscle has been not only been intact, but I believe I have been adding on some muscle. So that's pretty awesome, right? So again, that's one of my second regrets, is just missing on all the gains for that long. And a third regret is just, I actually really enjoy squats, right? It was something I was missing out on, right? I was one of those people, one of many, who thought squats just wasn't worth the risk to reward ratio, right? A lot of people are like, oh, you're going to get injured on squats. Oh, something bad's going to happen to your low back or something like that. And in actuality, you're actually strengthening all of the muscles that would be prone to injury, right? Like your lower back. Like I do low bar squat, and low bar squat engages your whole posterior chain, right? And obviously with quad emphasis and your hips just becoming a lot more stronger. So yeah, it's amazing. I wish I did it a lot sooner, right? I don't feel any pain at all. And obviously like squatting, or depending on the variation of squats, you can increase your explosiveness. You can increase just your overall athleticism, right? And then squats is something you do every single day, right? If you start squatting, you'll probably notice that getting out of a chair, getting off your toilet's even easier, right? And you might not think that's very important right now, but when you're like 75 years old, right? I work as a rehab tech, right? And in a clinic, and a lot of the times we're teaching people exercises called sit to stands, which is helping them get up, right? It's a squat based pattern movement where you're just getting up off of your chair, right? And we're teaching those people to do it without assistance because they're too old to the point where they need someone to help them get out. And what are they doing if you have no one there at your house to help you, right? You're just by yourself and you just can't get out of a chair. I wouldn't want that to happen to me. I wouldn't want that to happen to any of my subscribers, right? So I am 100% advocating for people to start doing squats. Me squatting 500 pounds in the future, that's probably never gonna happen to me. If anything, I'm probably gonna be dunking when I'm 85. Probably not gonna happen, but you're gonna see me jogging. That's for sure. So again, yeah, squats I believe add to your longevity, right? I mean, shoot, we teach that all the time at the rehab clinic. It's a very, very, foundational movement that helps with everyday life, right? Again, squat is like deadlift, applies to the real world. It has a lot of real world applications to it. That's why I'm gonna be advocating for it a lot more. And squats are just fun. The minute they're not fun at first, right? It takes a little time to get used to them. But the minute you start clicking and everything starts, you start moving the way that you struggle with, it starts getting fun, right? I actually look forward to leg days now, especially squat days. I even substitute it for my deadlift, right? You haven't seen me deadlift in a while, but I do plan on deadlifting like probably next week. So stay tuned for that. And the cool thing about squats, especially low bar squats, is they translate really well to your deadlifts, right? Because again, they hit the same muscle groups, the posterior chains, and stuff like that. But yeah, those are probably the biggest regrets I've had. And it's just another regret is just me being really weak at the lift, right? Like I've picked up 635 pounds off the floor, but I can't squat down with 500, right? And it's cool. I had someone, actually make a good point. Like squats are like weighted calisthenics. Not only are you pressing your body weight up, but you're pressing that amount of weight up too. And that's probably why, like compared to deadlifts, your squat's obviously going to be a lot lower, and actually more impressive, right? Because for my body weight, I saw at 214, it was like 520 pounds for squat is considered advanced to elite, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I regret not squatting a lot sooner. But it's always better late than never. And I only plan on getting stronger and better. But that's today's video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I really appreciate you guys. Thank you.